So ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to Real Talk with iDeal and friends. Real Talk is a platform that seeks to give people, we want to create a platform where people can freely speak honestly about several topics that have to do with life, faith, and love. The aim is that, people will get to learn and be better from these conversations. So it's not just meet the singles. We also look at other conversations. On the fourth Saturday of May, we did Nigeria to leave or to stay. It was a blast. I am the host. My name is iDeal. I am a Christian, and I will guide these conversations. I will give perspective on issues discussed where necessary, and also where we need to talk about to bring some context into some of the discussions. The gospel will be the context. All right. Also, would you like to be a guest on Meet the Singles? We'll have a link that I'll put on the chat. If you want to be a guest, we will be excited to have you on this show. So you can fill that link and be a part of it. Also, if you're here and you haven't signed up for to get more information, our YouTube videos, and when we are having topics and discussions, please, we would like you to sign up, because I know some of you are here even without the usual sign up. So please do that. Also check out our YouTube channel, Real Talk TV, although it's still under my name, Idahosa Yahweh. We have editions, fantastic time. We've done this before, and we also have the Nigeria to leave or to stay. It was really, really a blast, and I would like you guys to jump on that. All right, so straight to today's business without taking too much of your time. Today is Meet the Singles, and I'm sharing my screen right now. Today is Meet the Singles, and this is episode 2. We have amazing people with us. 3 ladies, 3 gentlemen. They have not seen themselves before. They have not seen these questions before, and we hope that they will be able to talk freely and honestly about the conversations and the questions that they will be answering today. So what is the idea of Meet the Singles? The idea of Meet the Singles is just to give people of both genders the opportunity to learn about each other, speak freely and honestly without sight as a distraction or prejudice. So we hope that this will also help them to be relaxed and be free, and they'll be blindfolded throughout the session. So I'm just going to take you guys through the format so everybody understands the format of Meet the Singles and how it's going to run, and our panelists especially. So the conversations are going to be, we usually consist of about 2 or 3 rounds. In each round, we're going to have a member of any of the team. Now, of course, we have a male and a female team here. So we'll have, of course, women first. So we men. So Miss 1, you pick a question out of, we have 50 questions, right? Pick a question out of 1 to 50. Then Mr. 1 will give his answer, Mr. 2 will give his answer, Mr. 3 will give his answer. Then the next, we'll have the reverse of that. So Mr. 1 will pick a question that has not been picked before, and Miss 1 will give her answer, Miss 2 will give her answer, Miss 3 will give her answer. I'm going to put a twist at the end of it. So I would like our panelists to please listen as the show goes and try and identify the voice of Miss 1, Miss 2, Miss 3, and Mr. 1, Mr. 2, and Mr. 3. All right, so when a question is asked or answered, please feel free to probe for clarity politely. All right, we want our panelists to be anonymous throughout the event. That's why we're concealing their names and their faces. Therefore, when they are referring to yourselves, to refer as Mr. 1 and Miss 2, Miss 3, just like that. Also, like I said before, there will be a live viewing participant of the show. The chat room is available for everybody to jump in, make their comments. And I will read some of the comments. I have some of my great team who helps me put this together. They will be sending some of the comments and I may read some of them out. All right. So, but like I said, please, let's maintain decorum and mutual respect in expressing ourselves. It's very important. But at the same time, I want us to be real. I want us to be honest. But I believe that we can do that in a polite and respectful way. Very important. I want to say this now. You have to listen to this. The views of the panelists and the participants in the chats do not represent the view of the host or the show. But at the same time, we all know that people are being real and will be truthful. Participants, panelists, do you guys understand the things that I have said? I know I've talked plenty.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, we do.
Mr. Tu, you're muted. I'm trying to... Okay, good. Good, you guys understand. So we're going to start now, right? And I'm going to start with an icebreaker question. So the icebreaker question is going to be answered by everybody before we go into the rounds that I talked about. I hope we get that. Now, this is the question. What mistake do you keep making repeatedly in relationships? What mistake do you keep making repeatedly in relationships? I will go over to, who wants to jump at this? Okay, I'm going to go to Miss One. What mistakes do you keep making? What mistake do you keep making repeatedly in relationships?
Okay, how do I say this that won't look bad?
Don't worry, your face is covered. You can look bad if you are bad.
Okay. Okay, so I think for me is being patient enough, I suppose. Do I need to elaborate? I don't think so.
It won't be bad if you elaborate.
Being patient enough as per if there's an issue in the relationship and in my mind I'm just like red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm not even going to mention what the issue is. And even when I do try and you're being defensive, I won't even argue. I'll just be like, okay, and you won't hear from me again. So I think right now, in hindsight, I suppose it is a mistake, not I suppose. I think it's better to, just give people a little bit of leeway, and not be so quick to cut them off, I suppose. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I mean, friendships, siblings, blah, blah, blah. It's an all-round kind of relationship. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, noted. Let me go to Mr. One.
Okay. I'm learning now that being vulnerable is not something that you do with everyone. And then even with people who you're in relationships with, it is advised that you give it time. So I think if there was any mistake that I made recurrently in past relationships, it would be how that I'm vulnerable from the get-go. I'm open, and even though I didn't see it as, I wouldn't really see it as a mistake. But I see that the more vulnerable you are with people, the more they are able to hurt you, or the more access you give and you. So, yes, in a nutshell, that's what I think.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. One. I couldn't tell if you were saying a mistake
Advising
or
us.
trying to sell yourself. But it's all good. Miss Two, let's hear from you. Miss Two. I hope you haven't forgotten you are Miss Two. you used a red blindfold, Miss Two. Just to remind you who you are. So go ahead. What mistakes do you keep making in relationships?
True.
Miss Two, I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I would say being available. I think I'm always too available. And more often than not, it cuts across as, should I say, being needy or something. But I think I'm always too available.
Interesting. Okay. Like I said on the first show, I feel like there are no wrong answers. It's just you being real. Mr. Two. Mr. Two.
For me, I would say.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, Mr. Two. Mr. Two is having technical challenges. Mr. Two, can you hear us? Okay, so Mr. Three, can you go ahead while Mr. Two is trying to... Mr. Two, you're on mute. Okay, good. Mr. Three, go ahead, please.
So I think my own will be priorities, prioritizing work over relationship, prioritizing hustle, quest to make money, to keep the relationship going and keep the one I'm in love with comfortable. Always making that mistake to prioritize that over the person I'm involved with has been one of my recurrent biggest mistakes. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's quickly jump to Miss Three.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Well, the mistakes I've been making would be that I was not open enough and I didn't want to be vulnerable. I basically had trust issues, so it was a problem most of the time. That's it.
Trust issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Two, I think your sound is good now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so for me, I would say one recurrent mistake I keep making is that the aspect of communication. So I feel like that is something I've been trying to work on and I'm still working on. I feel like I communicate better, or I like communicating via text messages and chat. But it turns out that the ladies prefer an actual phone call. And that has been a recurrent issue in every relationship I've been in. Not that I've been in much too, but it usually brings up a lot of fight.
So the challenge is that you don't just want to change from text to calls. That's the challenge in all the relationships.
I'm trying to. It actually goes beyond with romantic relationships. So I just feel like I'm more comfortable with text, chatting people up than actually speaking on the phone. So I think it's something I'm working on by this.
It's great. Maybe you don't have to work on it. Maybe you just need to find a fellow texter. Anyway, so I hope that we get the rounds now. So we're going to go, and I'm going to go back to starting from Miss One. She's going to pick a question from 1 to 50, and Mr. One will give an answer, Mr. Two will give an answer, and Mr. Three will give an answer. I'm ready when you are ready.
Okay,
Miss-
so let's do number 22.
Number 22. Do you think it is important to have mentors / role models in a relationship that you will be accountable for? That's you and your partner, and why? Do you think it is important to have mentors and role models in a relationship that you are accountable to, and why? Mr. One.
Oh, okay. Please, sorry, I didn't ask. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. Please go ahead.
Okay. In my opinion, I think mentors and role models are very important. Again, role models because it's always good to have models, templates to edit and improve on. However, growing up, there was someone came to speak to us, and that was when the idea was imprinted in my head. When the lady said that in marriage or in relationships, no matter how much you respect the person that you're with, and no matter how much you communicate and
I think we have some challenges with the network there. Mr. Two, can you go ahead?
Okay, let me.
can you hear?
So I think, okay, it's back. I think it's back. Should I still go on?
Yes, go on.
Okay, so for me, I don't really think having a mentor specifically for relationships is necessary. Now, if you have a mentor for your life as a whole, where he leads you, teaches you stuff, and then when you eventually get into a relationship, then fine, you can continue taking counsel from that particular mentor as regards your relationship. But I don't think it is necessary to go searching for a mentor just because you are now in a relationship. For me, I do have a lot of people that I ask questions from, but at the end of the day, I get to make my own decision. So I believe when it comes to mentorship, a mentor should be someone who you are willing to take his opinion on a particular subject. So if he is saying do this, I should be willing to do that. So I shouldn't be arguing or using my own rationale to judge an instruction given to me by mentor. So that's why I don't feel a mentor is necessary to have in a relationship, because a relationship comes down to me and my partner. There's no way of communicating every information between my partner to an external person, which is my mentor now, for him to have the complete picture to tell me what steps to take. So I don't think at that point in time a person will be able to guide me clearly in steps to take in a relationship. So I figured it would be better to just ask a bunch of people who I know have experience, just random questions with like something like, if you are going through this, how do you cope? If you are going through that, how do you come up out of it? But I wouldn't say I should have one particular person with whom I'm accountable to.
All right, thank you. Mr. One.
Sorry, I'm sorry, my phone muted and I couldn't see it because I was blindfolded.
Obviously.
Okay, I was just saying that the person who talked then said that there are times when in your marriage or in your relationship you can't get through to your partner, and it's important that your partner is, for want of a better word, submitted to someone else. Sometimes if the person is in ministry, if the person just someone that they respect. For some people it's their siblings. For some others it's an authority figure. At the end of the day, just someone who some sort of an accountability partner, but vertically. So not a horizontal accountability partner. I think it's cool. I think it's something that I agree with, but maybe it's just me.
Okay, that's okay. Like I said, just be free to say how one of the things I would really like is just be free, just be honest, say it as it is. And because the idea is for you to know yourself better and other people. And I mean, our spectators, I would like if you would answer these questions in the chats as well. I would really like, because I mean, these questions apply to everybody, not just those on the panelists. Yeah, even though I know some of us are married. Mr. 3, you're muted. Mr. 3, we can't hear you. Your mic is muted. I think Mr. 3 has forgotten his Mr. 3.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I never thought it's not this.
It's not easy to change your name. I know.
No, not that. Even having a conversation with the blindfold on, in itself, it's
blindfold, nose marks. It's crazy.
So we need to get used to these things, right? So, all right, okay. Accountability partner, I agree with. In a relationship, I think relationship, we're just getting to know each other. I think we are unique beings. We have our own unique experiences. So when you talk about mentors and you talk about role models, these things are beginning to sound too serious. Maybe that's the reason why some of us are still single.
Wow.
It begins to sound too serious. So I believe we should have friends that we can look up to, maybe people that are married, 1 or 2, that, because for guys, there are some vibes that the female gender throw at us that we don't understand. All right, so we need someone, maybe a married couple or someone that we can talk to, maybe not in the capacity of a role model, somebody to just demystify the mysteries that we don't understand when she doesn't want to talk, or when she says she's fine and she's not fine and stuff like that. So I agree with accountability partner, but I don't necessarily think at relationship level, dating level, we should be concerned or bothered about who we should have a mentor, we should have a role model, because role models, those kind of put pressure from the get-go on the relationship already, because you're emulating people, you're trying to be like, model your relationship, meanwhile you have your uniqueness, or you're forcing, I don't know, trying to be like someone or be like Beyonce and Jay-Z, meanwhile you're in sub-Saharan Africa, so so I agree with having accountability partner, but I think it's too much pressure from day one having mentors and role model. Role model is just a lot of pressure, right? So that's what I would say.
Okay. Somebody in the chat, CEA, said, I think accountability is important, but if you just go and start sharing up and down, that's how everybody knows something about your relationship or your marriage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Miss One, are you satisfied with those answers? Just saying.
Yeah, I guess it's their opinion too. It's okay.
Wow.
Okay. Oh no, I mean, yes, it's nice. The answers are perfect.
Okay, Mr. One, please pick a question.
How about 25?
25. Does your ex still have a piece of your heart? Does your ex still have a piece of your heart? I'm going to start from Miss 3 this time, because I think Miss 1 has been under a lot of pressure.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Miss 3.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, but I think so, but I'm not sure. But I think so because they're all married, but they still try to communicate. At least I know one that's always trying to communicate. I think they've moved on, but they still want some sort of communication. I don't know if that would qualify as a piece. Sorry, can I get the question again? Do they still have a piece of my heart, or I still have a piece of their heart?
I think you can answer the question both ways if you don't mind.
Okay, well, one of my exes still wants to communicate, so I don't know if that means he still has a piece of my heart. So I don't know, but I don't have a piece of
anybody's heart.
Of them. I left the relationships for very good reasons. So even if they were not single, I would not go back to them. So,
Wow. Miss 2.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My instant reaction was, ew, no way. So, hell no. Done, over, moved on. Not at all. Not one bit.
Miss 1.
I agree with Miss 2.
Okay.
I think we would like some explanation. Like, ew. Like, are they enemies now? Like, ew.
Yeah, that's my sentiments exactly. Like you.
Okay, I did not. My own is without the EU. There's no, as in, there's no emotions attached to it. There's no hatred, nothing. It's just indifference.
Okay.
I mean, what about that question about how if you love once, can you actually stop loving? If you stop loving, did you ever truly love? That question. Because I think it's a similar one.
I agree. There was no
Ladies,
love there.
ladies, you need to answer that question.
It might take a while. Okay, this is Miss 1. And I feel if you love someone, yes, sometimes it takes a while, it won't be immediately. I mean, if you probably asked me this question early this year, I would have said yes, but it takes a while, and then you let go, you start to accept that the person is this and you're this and you people are different and it's never going to happen. I feel that's what happens. So, yeah. So in my own situation, that is what happened. If they still have, whether they have a piece of, their hearts, as in, the reverse, I rebuke it in Jesus' name. I'm not in anybody's heart that has gone.
Wow. Okay, I think we should move on. But I would remember what it says. If you stop loving, did you? Is it if you stop loving, did you ever really love? That
okay,
sounds
can
like,
I answer?
it sounds like gospel to me.
Can I answer that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it was love because we all started out as friends. So even after the relationship, we were still friends. It may not be romantic love, and I don't think we'll ever stop loving, but nothing romantic, so just platonic. So I don't think it was not love. I think it was. We just were not right for each other. That's it.
I'm sorry. I know we're about to move on, but for me, the question takes a different shape because a scenario is painted in my head, right? If I'm in a meeting and then I see a call from one of my exes, do I jump at it? Like, or would I actually excuse myself to go and take that call? Because I still care for this person, as opposed to me just ignoring it and saying, I'll deal with that later. I think I would take an excuse and actually go and attend to the call. I think that's the scenario it paints in my head.
I don't have any comments about that, and it looks like the ladies don't have any comments about that. Okay, I'm going to move on to Miss Two.
Okay.
To pick a question.
Can I write on?
Yes, you want to pick a question from. You have to pick a question now for the gentleman to answer. Or you want to make a comment? 18. Okay. 18. So this is 18, right? And I think it's in line with what we just said. Your significant other's ex is coming into town and she wants to go out to dinner with them alone. How would you react? Your significant other's ex is coming into town and she wants to go out to dinner with them alone. How would you react? Mr.
Them plural, singular.
Okay, so let's
Mr.
say
3.
Yeah, Mr. 3, go ahead.
Is there a singular or plural?
Anyone is fine.
No, if it's a bunch of old friends from uni or from somewhere, and there's an ex,
basically somebody she was dating before, somebody she was in love with, somebody she was in a relationship.
Comes around, I want to take her out on a date again. Alone.
How would you react?
Only two of them.
Only two of them. I like to think I'm dating someone that I trust, but I like to also say no, because I don't want to I don't want to put her in a situation where she will have to be tempted to a point where she might compromise, because I know with relationship, especially if we've had that conversation before about this ex, is this someone that you think you still have something for? Is it someone that you think you're comfortable being around? All right, but my initial and first reaction is no. It doesn't sit well. Just thinking about it, it won't sit well with me. You going out alone with your ex, or especially, I would say no. And I hope she will trust my sense of judgment, but I'll say no.
All right, thank you, Mr. 2. You are muted. I've been trying to unmute you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Just speak a bit louder. Thank you.
Okay. So for me, speaking from experience, I would say no. But based on my own self, I wouldn't find it to be a big issue for her to actually go on the date. But judging from past experience, I think somewhere deep down in her heart, she would want me to object. So based on so I would my initial response would just be no, just to give her the sense that okay, I do care. I feel like it's a world competition or something. But left to me, I wouldn't object, because I want to believe that the person I'm with, I trust her completely, and I believe in her ability not to compromise. Since we get relationship, and if I begin to control her and make things with exes now, what would happen when we're going to get married? It means for every time an ex pops up, we would always have issues. So it's better I give her the opportunity now to interact with people and see that she has the ability and the willingness to compromise and take that authenticity into marriage. So my own deep down, I wouldn't compare to family, but for the benefit of it, I'll just make her understand that okay, I do care. It might be a world competition. I will just say no, and then if she insists on going, it'll be fine. Go ahead. That's my take.
Okay, thank you, Mr. One, what's your take on this? How would you react?
So I'm learning now. I think I'm learning now that it's important to show. Okay, the word is not ownership or jealousy, but I hear that the women that we are with want to know that we take ownership of their brand and their. With that in mind, I also don't want her to feel like I don't trust her, But then, from the feedback of the ladies from the immediate past question, you realize that a bulk of the focus group do not entertain a lot of meetings with their exes because it's a closed chapter. So the fact that she is eager to go and meet an ex with the caveat or with the clause that they have to be alone raises room for concern and suspicion. I would actually just express my concern and say, hey man, I'm not very comfortable. I'm personally not going to be very comfortable with her being alone. Okay, I think the problem with the question or the challenge with the question is the fact that the clause of them being alone is important. If it was an open invitation and I declined, or it's different. But the moment the invitation is predicated on the clause that they have to be alone, then I would have to reject respectfully and express my concern. If she says to me, hey man, don't worry, it's really not like that. We just want to catch up times. Again, I trust the person I'm with, so I would definitely consent. But I would definitely express concern at the outset.
Thank you, Mr. One. On the chats, I'm seeing people talking about Okafor's law. If you don't know about Okafor's law, you can do your research on that. Somebody also said that honestly, unless you are trying to see if your partner trusts you, I think this is a decision that should be made by the individual. No need putting your partner through all that stress. Interesting. All right. I'm gonna go to Mr. Miss Two. Miss Two, have you picked a question?
Oh, the question we just answered.
Okay, that's the question we just answered. So I think it's Mr. Two that should pick a question now.
Yeah, I pick number 2.
Okay. So, number 2. What qualities would you be looking out for in someone you want to date or marry? What qualities would you be looking for in someone you want to date or marry? You can just give us maybe 2 or 3. And if you want to throw more light in it, please feel free. What qualities would you be looking out for in someone you want to date or marry? I'll start from Miss 2. You're muted, by the way. Miss 2, you're muted. You're still muted. Okay, so let me start from Miss 1 while trying to sort out the mic of Miss 2. Miss 1, please help us with an answer.
Okay. Qualities. So apart from the obvious, which is God-bearing, loves me, and what's the other one people say? Physically attracted to the person. Apart from
giving
those
us people's answers.
The qualities I look out for is consistency.
Okay.
That is so important. If you're not consistent, I will even wait for you. Number 2, respect. I think it goes both ways. So don't come and be huffing and puffing. You want respect from me and you're not respecting me. It won't happen. Number 3, ambition. I'm sorry, but I can't stand people who are too laid back. It's just my nature. It's how I was brought up. You need to be active, like pa. So consistency, respect, and ambition. Those 3 things. Apart from the other, good ones.
The new KPI is consistency, and ambition. They've updated the program.
I would like for Shay to throw more light on consistency. Like, it's such a big word. Like, consistent with his finances or what.
I happily oblige. Consistency, first of all, in the toasting. So there's this new things guys do. You'll be toasting 4 chicks at the same time. And really, we all know that men are not good at multitasking. It shows when your attention is divided. No offense, please check.
No. We love it. We love it.
Yeah.
We like the feedback. We should update.
So it shows that your attention is divided. You come 1 week later, hey, how far now? What is that? You ask me how far, what's up? All in the same question. We're starting all over again with those things. When we should be moving forward. You're not consistent already. Now, even in the relationship, when you're all mouth and you don't follow through your actions, it's the same thing. You're not being consistent. So try and be consistent. And even if there's going to be a change, let it be upward, please. Let it not be down. So that I don't know if that helps with more light on consistency.
Yeah. It does. But am I allowed to ask a small question?
If it's in line with the question, why not?
Yeah, it is. Because personally, I've had an issue with the concept of consistency based on these parameters. Because at the end of the day, consistency is required. In the event that, I have to be consistent with, for example, Miss One, and then is the concept of consistency reciprocated? Is she also consistently only receiving advances from me? Even though I'm not a fan of multitasking with relationships, I've just found that the playing field in that regard is not always even. We're looking for consistency from these young men, but at the end of the day, we are also taking advances from 3, 4, 5, 6 different guys, waiting to gauge who is more consistent. It just kind of feels a little one-sided. So what happens? What are the parameters that the lady must abide to in that situation? Yes, he has to be consistent, but how consistent is she supposed to be?
I'll speak for myself. Okay, so if I like you, you would know. I don't do that. Wait 3 days to call him. Let me not be too vulnerable. It's going to be all out there. I'll be vulnerable. I'll tell you everything you need to know about me. I'll call you every day. I can call you more than 1 time a day. Yeah, I like calls. I don't really do texting.
Oops.
Sorry, Mr. 3.
Mr.
It's no
1.
shade to you.
That's Mr. 2.
I like calls. I like video calls. I like to, I really want to bond with my whoever it is I'm dating because I've reserved that best friend spot for you. Right now, I have a lot of people who assume they're my best friends, but I don't have any best friends in my mind. It's for that person. So we're going to bond on so many levels. And for me, it's immediate. I'm not getting any younger. If I like you, I like you, and it's going to be an immediate bonding. And I'm going to be calling as I expect you to be calling. You understand? But again, it's like playing tennis or ping pong, As you give it to me, I give it to you. So if I notice you're lagging, chilling, and waiting for me to calling you, automatically I'm going to step back. So again, it's a two-way street. What you should be setting up is that I would be reciprocating your actions. And when you slow down, I too slow down. Before you even fade out. So
fantastic, one. I appreciate your vulnerability and you're so real. I'm feeling that. Miss Two, you want to give an answer now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. So first up my list is a worshipper and somebody who has a solid relationship with his maker. It's non-negotiable. Secondly, I would say somebody who is open to sharing his life. There's one thing to be with somebody who's open to talking and another thing to be with somebody who talks about things that matter. I want to understand your finances. I want to understand your relationship with your family. Those things are important to me. I want to understand your goals. And thirdly, I want somebody who is confident in himself. I'm a woman who understands her journey. It's important to me that regardless of what his journey might be, that he's confident in it and not try to compete with me. So those would be my top 3 qualities.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss 3.
Okay. Well, I'll start with values and the core of the person, really what the person believes and the principles of the person. And it should be someone who is reliable, first of all, someone I can trust. Secondly, should be someone who is forward thinking, not someone who is traditional or in the past or extremely religious or, just someone who is enlightened. Then the third one would be someone who has the same sense of humor as me. I don't need someone who is too serious. That kind of bores me. So it should be someone that can actually laugh. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm seeing some wonderful comments. I will just read out some. Someone said that the guys actually say that they aren't good at multitasking. The guys know that. And this is a comment I think I saw even in the first edition, that guys can't handle vulnerability, but they seek it. They want to know, they want you to be open, but they can't handle it. That's quite interesting. All right, so we're going to move on if there are no comments about that.
A quick comment about that.
Okay.
I want to believe that my own experiences are unique, right? But from personal experience, I find that the reverse is the case on the question of vulnerability. Commitment hasn't been my problem. It's always been the problem of the lady. And so, in fact, I have particular situations where I was ready to commit. However, I wasn't pressuring. Who doesn't like to be a baby boy? But I hear things like, oh, she feels pressured to be married. Oh, but you're not the one pressuring me. I just feel pressured because you have committed. And so at the end of the day, I on that comment, I would probably say I think reverse is the case with vulnerability. I think men are easier vulnerable than women would be.
If I may jump at it, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. So I'd say I don't totally think it's a thing of gender. It's a thing of environment. A boy who grows in a home where it's okay to automatically becomes as the girl growing in a home where she can. Looking at it from a gender base would totally do us more harm than good. So it's more of an environmental thing than a gender-based thing.
Okay, awesome. All
Sorry,
right.
can I just say something real quick?
Okay, please. Why not?
I really want to understand how guys express vulnerability because, guys are used to hearing, oh, women are moved by words. So all these demons, they will come and start using words. So now girls have locked up because girls feel when you come and you're like, I love you, I can't, I need you, I can't sleep, we're like, wash, they've come. So it's really difficult for us to see you expressing yourself in words as vulnerability, which is why some girls might come up as looking materialistic, because some people have the perception that what matters to you more is your bank account. So if you can dent it on our behalf, as some people say, it's assurance, maybe we will believe that you're actually being vulnerable. And it's not just words. I'm just saying, because if you're just telling me, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, till my credit's finished, you didn't call me back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that.
I feel like Mr. 3 will share my sentiment in that in relationships, right? As much as I agree, one of the things, I'm in religious circles a lot, and so whenever people say, for God so loved the world that He gave, and then they stop and not add His only begotten Son, I tell them, no, you are quoting that scripture out of context, because it is not just that He gave you something. He gave you something that mattered to Him. And in a situation like a relationship that we want to lead up to marriage, Mr. 3 said something that I kind of understand at the outset. He said how that the hustle, I think Mr. 3 was you that said it, right? How that the hustle sometimes is a distraction. Because I'm here trying to build a life for me and this woman to jump into, probably when the relationship reaches maturity. I'll definitely buy gifts, probably take her out. No, not probably, definitely take her out. Definitely try my best to take care of her on her own terms, right? But at the end of the day, the concept of, go broke because you're trying to show her that you love her. I don't know. A lot of men are shying away from that now because of the, that public thing, that public opinion that women tend to be materialistic nowadays, which I don't really agree with, because I've met some really fantastic women. But still, I don't know. I feel like your question was, how do men show that they are vulnerable? I think it's the sharing. It's the sharing of their lives. It's how that I open up to you and I tell you what's really going on in my heart and in my life, and where I'm going, what I'm planning for, what my dreams are. Mm-hmm. And then I share with you something as basic as what my financial situation is. But then what my projections are. but I think that's it. I think that's really how because we can spend on anybody. Men will go out and declare drinks for their friends and stuff.
Exactly.
So spending is not really vulnerability. But you see that conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of men are not very vocal. Yeah, a lot of men are not very vocal. So when I sit with you, I talk to you and I tell you what it is that is going on in my heart and how I am wired, I feel like you never get more vulnerable than
Like you nailed it. I was going to say that for men, or for me, sharing my time, right, is very precious. Sharing my life, telling you everything, my plans, my goals, is me being vulnerable, because you can wake up tomorrow morning and say, you know what, I'm not rolling with you anymore, but you know everything about me already, right? I've literally laid my life in front of you. Do you get? So that I'm vulnerable to you. Which is why breakup is harder for men, even though a lot of people will not agree, because somebody has gone with all your ideas, all your plans, all your dreams, and she has gone to be with somebody else. That is why some people go from fat to slim when they break up. So vulnerability is not buying of ice cream or going to Burj Al Arab or denting your account. That's not vulnerability. I can spend money on you. I can spend money on you even if I don't like you. Like, I just want to see you smile. I take go and buy yourself something, but it doesn't mean I'm vulnerable to you.
Charity work.
Charity work.
Your time is like
Mr. Two, do you want to add to that? Yeah, but
that would be
perspective.
As opposed to just turning into
contrary.
Yeah, you agree with them?
I don't have a contrary opinion. I totally agree with the fact that the vulnerability has to do with how willing a guy is ready to share his life with the lady. doesn't have
Yeah,
anything
if you
to do
could
with friendship.
try and speak up a bit. I think you're far from your mic.
Okay, I'm saying vulnerability doesn't have to do with spending money. It doesn't have to do with even you telling her how much you love her. It boils down to your willingness to open up and just let her know things about your life, basically. Like I would also say from experience, most of the relationships I've been in, I've always ended up knowing more about the lady than she thought about me. So I really find it hard opening up to people. So that's how I feel, or how I categorize being vulnerable. Opening up about my life, telling you my plans, telling you how my day went. Even as small as telling how my day went. I could give you bits, but I wouldn't give you everything, because I feel giving you a detailed breakdown is actually me being vulnerable. So I totally agree with that sentiment that vulnerability has nothing to do with spending money, or even saying or professing your love. Actually, it just goes as far as telling her the little bits of the life that makes her feel like she knows you as a person. I think that's it for me. And a guy who is willing to open up completely and share those aspects of his life is a guy who is very vulnerable with you. To just let you know how it is. No forming, no hiding, no pushing up anything. I think that's what vulnerability actually means.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ms. Wan, thank you for that question. I think you almost got some guys vulnerable on this call. Yeah, really good, really good. So I think Ms. 3 is to pick a question now. I hope I'm correct.
Okay. Number 6.
Number 6. What would you usually expect on the first date? What would you usually expect on the first date? We'll start from, I want to start from Mr. 2. What would you usually expect on the first date?
What do I expect on the first date? In terms of during the date or going forward?
Ms. 3, put perspective to the question. How would you like him answer that question?
Like, during the date and after, together, everything.
That's very broad perspective.
Very, very broad. So for me, I would say during the day, I would want to expect and no dull moments. Probably she should be able to
Fireworks.
match me intellectually, and I should be able to match her intellectually as well. So whatever topic I bring up, I would expect her to have a meaningful contribution to that topic. And whatever topic she also brings up, I would also expect myself to be able to contribute as well. And then also in terms of sharing personal issues, we should be able to, on some level, discuss some personal information that would make me or her, make us know each other better. And then at the end of the day, we should just basically have a good time, or have the feeling of having a good time. There are some dates you go on, and then both of you are struggling to talk about anything. You just sit silent for a while, and sometimes you're even tempted to start pressing your phone or look at your phone to see if you have our messages. So I feel a date should just be should I say fluid, where we are not thinking about our responses. Everything is just going smoothly back and forth, exchanges of discourse and the like. And I believe after that, we'll call it a date. I don't believe in going to a place or coming to a place after a first date. So I believe after that discussion, we'll just probably call it a date and then fix either a second date, or they will continue the communication through phones, and then when it's appropriate to meet again. That's it for me.
I like that. After the date, you call it.
Can I probe?
Please probe.
Don't you want to get the other responses before you probe?
No, she wants to probe.
Fine.
Wait, later. Mr. 3.
Pro bono.
FCC. All right, Mr. 3, go ahead.
So what do I expect from a first date? Good food, good drinks, good laughter. I'm on for conversation. I like to talk. So good conversation, basically, no pressure. I don't want to know if your father has 10 wives or if your boss is wicked. No, I just want to meet you. Just want to vibe with you, have a good conversation. Somewhere we could hear each other when we talk. I said good food initially because I realized that with good food, people are more relaxed. People are more ginger to talk when they are eating and when they are sipping on something good. So I think that's my answer for first date. There's no pressure of just getting to know who you are. If we're filling a form, it's just the basic part of the form: name, address, age. Basically, there's nothing. Basically.
Oh, no.
All right, Mr. 1. Thank you, Mr. 3.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. I think for me, the first date is communication. But the first date is not the first encounter.
Exactly.
If we didn't vibe over the phone or at our initial meet, the first date would not happen. So the first date is my opportunity or an opportunity for both parties to probe, get a physical vibe of each other, hear where this person is coming from, understand the frame of mind that they are in, find out if this person actually does have a sense of humor. It's conversation.
That's a lot of research for first date. So.
Hello? No, it's not.
He knows how to just leave the question, answer other questions, then come back to
No. So that's what I expect. That's what I expect for the first date, because I can tell you a lot about myself in 6 minutes or less. The first date is not the first time I'm meeting her. Definitely would have had conversations over the phone. Oh, hey, how are you? Where do you work? What do you do and stuff? What do you like to do? Because you wouldn't want to have a first date where you take her to the one place in town that she doesn't like to eat from. So you should already know what she likes to eat before you go on the first date. The first date is
Field-oriented.
Not the first meeting. That's what I think. That's what I think. So communication is the first date. But as Mr. 3 said, a lot of laughter. And then this will sound very funny. Please don't laugh at me and don't think me to be vain. But this is your opportunity to hear her speak English, because sometimes what's up? No, not Queens, not Queens. There are certain errors that are very painful that you would see on WhatsApp, and then a lot of people will tell you, "Oh, I'm sorry, autocorrect." You're like, okay, but then some people actually do make these mistakes. You just get an opportunity to have a conversation. That's it.
Okay, good. Mr. Do you still want to ask further questions? You still want to probe?
Okay.
The probe.
Okay. For Mr. 1, he was talking about. Sorry. Well, he was talking about matching intellectually. Is it only intellectually? So can we be shallow a bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or the first person that spoke. The first person that spoke.
Okay, that's that too.
Like, what of looks? Is there a certain way? Okay, well, you said that it might not be the first time that you're meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
It mustn't necessarily be the first time. But would it matter if she was dressed a certain way, or even decorum? The food is so good, how she eats, how she sits, how she talks, and stuff like that. Does it matter to you? Then the second person that spoke said it seemed like he wants a structured kind of conversation. Like, you don't want to know how many wives your father has and stuff like that. So you're not into just entering different places when you're talking. Must it be structured? if you enter a certain place, is it like a no? So those are my questions.
So I think I will take
Was
it
that
first.
from me or from Mr. Two?
I think I'll take it first from the structured point of view. For first dates,
Yeah.
I want to selfishly make it about us, about two of us, what we like, what are the things that make us laugh, what are the things that can bond us together, right? I've been on these first dates a couple of times, and you end up leaving both of you on the table and discussing, oh, I have this horrible boss, and 2 hours is gone, and you're talking about work stuff, right? I would rather use those 2 hours to talk about things that make you you and things that make me me. All right. So it's not necessarily going to be structured, but I would look for a way to always bring back the conversation to both of us. Right. I think that's for the structured part you were thinking about. I think that sort of answers that question. I don't know if you're comfortable with the answer.
Well, that's your opinion.
Okay. Thank you. So, Mr.
Going on
Mr. Fu, take it away.
Okay, that was
Mr. Two,
Mr.
you
Two,
want
not
to say something?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mr. Two. So can I speak now?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think that she asked 2 questions. One on the intellectual part, and then on mannerisms in terms of how she talks and the rest. So to speak of the intellectual part, when I say intellectual, I don't mean a whole sciencey, techie, historian kind of person, but at least just to have basic understanding of what is going on. Understanding the recent events in the country, in the economy, in the society. So I wouldn't want to talk about something that is happening today or that has been going on for a while, and then you have no idea about it. So I think that would be a big turn off for me. What I do with my friends, I hardly find it acceptable to have friends who are not even on Twitter. So the moment I talk to you for a bit and you say I'm not on Twitter, I tell you join Twitter, I encourage you to join. I gave it the importance, the benefit of why you should be on Twitter, because for now, Twitter seems to be one of the most informative places where you can get information on real time as it pops up. So I encourage my friends now to actually be on Twitter for just getting information. So I think it's also important for the person I would be on a date to be able to discuss certain things with me. I wouldn't want to make a joke like the matter with the now, or the matter with the since I have no clue or what I'm talking about. So I really find it strange and all put into an extent. But then again, I'll just tell you, this is what you need to do to just be social, like get information. I know many people are not looking into that, but it is something that I am particular about. And then there are a lot of other things as well in terms of TV shows, in terms of what is happening, like I said before. So you should be able to keep up with recent happenings. That's basically what we want to talk about. What's happening in society at the moment, what is trending in terms of music, in terms of movies, in terms of books.
No, I don't understand that. My question was focused on superficial stuff. I know that being intellectual can be a little bit deep, but not so deep anyways.
Right.
But I'm talking about looks, decorum. Are those things important? Like, she can match you intellectually. She can vibe with you when it comes to conversation. What about the way she eats? What about how she sits?
Yeah, I
how she talks?
was coming to that.
Are those things important?
I was coming to that. Superficial things are not so important to me, because I, for one,
How she smells.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like Mr. Two wants to date the current affair.
Social studies
Alexa, you want to date Alexa?
not necessarily. That's why I kept it to the basics, entertainment stuff like music, books, movies, and the rest. They don't need to go deep into the history.
Yeah, but
In terms of mannerisms, I feel 90% of ladies would definitely think how they eat or how they talk on the first date. But I don't think that would be a good platform for me to actually judge how she eats or how she talks, because she would most likely want to be on her best behavior.
She come prepared.
So they are not things that you watch out for at all. you won't watch out for those things at all. They don't bother you.
I'll definitely watch out for those things. But I believe I wouldn't pay attention to them because, in my own opinion, it will not be an accurate representation of her mannerism. But in terms of smell, how she talk, is she loud, vulgar uses, vulgar languages, I'll definitely look at those things and it will 100% be a turn off for me.
Okay.
Men are moved by what they see, so the physical part is very important.
I don't agree with that, bro, about men being moved by what they see. Just the
maybe
way
I'll speak for myself then.
They see by what they move.
Mr. Wad, have you ever seen those things on social media where what you ordered versus what you got?
Yes, I get where you're coming from.
So the WhatsApp picture is all glams, and the person that walks in is, I can't say you smell nice.
Yeah, because some ladies are photogenic. In real life, they are not as pretty as
they're not as pretty.
Like they used to be.
Wow.
And then when you see character.
Okay, I think we should move on to the next question. Ms. 3, have you picked a question?
Yeah, I have.
But I think it's Mr. 3 now to pick.
Question number 1.
No, we have done question number 1. That was the icebreaker. Mm-hmm.
So it's 1 to 30, right?
1 to 50.
1 to 50. Let's do 50.
Okay. Question 50 coming up. What has been the biggest change you ever made that made you the most proud of yourself? What has been the biggest change you ever made that made you the most proud of yourself? I hope that question is not too deep.
In what context now?
I was expecting that.
God.
So let's put it in context of relationship and dating someone.
Yeah, what has been the biggest change you've made that made you proud of yourself in terms of relationships?
Okay, let me go.
Sure.
I would say empathy. I naturally I can be very insensitive, and I just maybe self-centered. So I really don't. Yeah, naturally, yes. Like probably my younger self used to be very insensitive, and I can be really blunt. I'm still blunt, but I've improved and I empathize better now, and just makes me, I'm just rational. So I think, and it has affected my other relationships, platonic relationships as well. So I think that's the biggest change.
Awesome. Miss 2.
I think 3 years ago, I started asking myself a lot of whys. So why do I have to date? Why do I have to date this person? Why do I want to? And I think that has really changed a lot of things for me. If I can't find a solid reason for my decisions, I don't take those decisions. And it's something that has really helped my experiences evolve. And I'm very proud that I asked myself why. And I'm not afraid of asking my whys, regardless of how silly my answers might be. I own it and I stay true to myself.
Awesome. Miss 1.
For me, the biggest change would be that there are about 3 changes, but they're all similar. The first one would be not getting involved in every argument, Don't be that dog that I speak to bite the bone. So sometimes I let you win the argument, or peace to win. You have to know when. It's as in, if you win the argument, are they going to give you an award? No. So just let it go. But I've learned to do that. I've also learned to be, patient when you even know more than the person, because you know how fragile guys' egos can be. Just don't throw it in their faces. Yes, you're intelligent, your IQ is high, but sometimes it's good to let him discover for himself that he was wrong. Don't be so quick to say, I told you so. See, Google said. So that was a very, very huge change for me. And I tell you, I'm be so happy because the peace of mind you get is incredible. So yeah. That's
awesome.
I have a question for Miss Vaughn, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Especially with what you just concluded saying, if you are letting things slide, even when you know that probably what he's saying is not correct, are you sure you're willing to do that in marriage eventually? Because I'm asking because a lot of people let a lot of things go when they are dating, things that are important to them. And then you get into the marriage and you're now saying things that are different. So if you're taking it in the dating, are you willing to take it in the marriage itself? Or you will want him to automatically wake up to the fact that certain decisions he's taking are wrong?
Okay. I completely understand where you're going. I'm talking about arguments that are not important, like
okay.
It's not going to rain today, or it's going to rain today. Some people pour so much energy into very mundane arguments. Save the energy for the serious ones. And another thing I've also learned is trying not to raise your voice while you're arguing or while you're trying to pass your point across. If you can do it in a subtle way, I think the guy will even be more accepting to your point, as opposed to throwing up a wall because of the way you're coming at him. If they feel you're attacking them, they'll just... So even when they know that you're right, they will never agree. But if you're coming subtly and you're saying it slowly, it's like, it's true, Sha. You get a lot of things that way, to be honest, than trying to fight with it. So just save the arguments for the important stuff.
Yeah, so I was going to ask. Sorry, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was going to ask more like same question, but is there like a reason behind these changes? So you are now more empathic. Why are you more empathic? Is it because you're trying to please the guy, because you're trying to keep the guy now because the other guys ran? If you're allowing him to win the conversation, like I think it's Miss 3 that said, or Miss 1 that said, if you allow the guy do whatever he wants, you might pay for it later on. Was Miss 2. So if you're allowing conversation fly, like, okay, because you can bond with argument like it's going to rain today and it's not going to rain today. That can
exactly
bond with such argument, right? But if you just
I completely it's not even for me. It's not even about guy and girl relationships. Okay, let me tell you what made me change my perspective was when I was living with someone and I saw her in me. This girl will argue about every freaking thing. We'll raise our voices it's like God was teaching me. He said, "Look at yourself now." So it was irritating. You look mad. Seriously, every small thing, your eye will be red. You start shouting, cha 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 cha, because of what? Like, calm down. Like, it's not everything raise voice shouting over. So in order, I saw myself in that, and I was like, my God, so this is what I look like when I'm doing this thing. It's really not a good look, to be honest. So, like I said, save the argument for the important things that matter, and then the little things, don't get so pumped up about it to the point that Because some people get so heated up that it ruins the rest of their day. Why? For something that wasn't really important. So that's just where I'm coming from. The important stuff, and then you can get your point across without getting so worked up and angry. That's all I'm just trying to say. That I have changed.
Okay. You guys have. Sorry, you want to say something?
Yes,
you want to say something? I didn't get that.
I have a question for Miss Stu.
Okay, just hold on, please. All right, so you guys have really done amazing, really, because you guys you're just hearing these questions for the first time, and you've been real. You've been free, and you've been open. All right, I'm just gonna read some from the chat. Somebody said that talking about Mr. Wan. On men being moved by what they see. He said, what's important is the quality of the person's spirit, their relationship with God and their character. I've seen guys that went for toothpick and yellow, and the toothpick poked them. Just saying. Somebody said, Miss 3 went to finishing school. Clearly her man must eat like the prince and smell like Tom Ford. All right. Okay. So I'm going to put a little twist to the event. So I'm going to allow each of you to direct your question to one person. So I think that's what Mr. 2 was already going to do. So you choose your pick, and the question is your question. So Mr. 2, over to you.
So should I pick a number now, or should I go ahead and ask the question I have in mind?
Just feel free. It's your opportunity.
Okay, so basically, I actually wanted some clarification on the change she said she had made over time, which is asking why for everything before making a decision. So I just wanted to find out if that doesn't seem transactional to her, in terms of asking why for everything before going into the relationship.
Sorry, I lost the few last words. I didn't get you clearly.
He said, okay, go ahead.
I'm saying if asking why doesn't make it feel transactional when making decisions or going into a relationship. Like you could ask why you like someone, but asking why you want to be in a relationship will make it feel transactional. Doesn't it feel transactional to you when you make that decision?
All right, so my reason for asking why is because people evolve. When I got to a point in my life where I realized that every decision I've made had consequences. And sometimes those consequences are not things that I was proud of. So I decided ahead of time so I got to a point where I started living my life in the reverse. So I'd project into my future, and I would say, okay, this person here right now that is asking for this relationship, why do I want to be with this person? If I'm able to give myself good reasons why I want to be in that relationship, I'll go ahead. On the other hand, sorry, I lost my train of thought there a bit. On the other hand, I met people who had regrets in their marriage. And every time I asked, so why did you marry this person? They didn't have good reasons. For some ladies, they would say, oh, I was done with the university. I was done with NYSC. I had a job, and he was the only one that asked me to marry him. So I just said yes. For some others, they would say, I was thinking about my age and I want to have kids early. So I said yes. And now they're in the marriage and they had issues with the decision they had made prior to that future. So it became paramount for me to make my decisions on a reverse level. So why do I want to do this? I project. If I don't have good reasons for it, I don't go with it. If I come up with good reasons and I am sure that this is something that even in the future, if it doesn't go right, I won't beat myself up because I understood why I was doing it, I'll go ahead with the decision.
Okay. Mr. Chua, are you satisfied with that answer?
Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with the answer, but you still feel transactional to me.
Yeah, that's okay. That's your answer. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to go to Miss 2. you're going to direct the question. You can also pick. We also have a lot of questions. I will read out the question, and you can direct it to anybody, or if you want to have your own question, that's fine as well. So what do you want to do?
I'm thinking. What do I want to do?
I can read out the question. If you don't like the question, you can use your own personal question. But it's only one person that's going to answer, and you're going to direct the question to who you want to answer the question.
Okay. I think it was Mr. 3 that was saying something about if it's not him, please the person should help.
Yeah, and it can be any question as regards.
Okay. Yeah. You're saying something about his partner knowing things that are current, and it got me wondering, because are you saying that if you are dating or seeing someone and you're saying things that are current and she's not aware of those current things?
That's Mr. 2. Mr. 2.
That was number 2.
Okay.
So life matters.
Does that mean that I don't understand? I was just thinking, because I'm looking at myself, right? I don't know a lot of current things, because current out there sort of creep me out, either anxiety or one thing or the other. I may know headlines, but I don't know details. So if you're saying something
like a personal attack.
No, just because people like me out there, you might meet someone, yeah? So if we're not current with the news, because we don't watch the news, it's always one bad tale to the other. We don't know the current statistics of COVID-19 because of the anxiety level it pulls on the inside of us. Does that mean that you just can't deal and then?
Okay, so I think
yeah, Mr. 2, go ahead. Yeah, that's your question.
So I actually stated that as a specification for the first date, because that would be one of the things that will make our conversation flow as fluid as possible. But going forward, like I said, I usually encourage my friends to just seek out information. Now I made a category of some certain items. I said latest movies, latest music, latest books, and then recent trends that are happening in society. So I believe every individual should fall or should have a grasp on one of these 4 categories. You can't be not into social trends and not be into movies at the same time, and not be into music or be into books. You should at least know what is happening in the society currently. You should know what the trending and new movies are. You should know what new music are, and also books. So you can't just be blank in all 4 categories. It doesn't make you an interesting person at all. So that's just my take. So if I'm in a relationship with someone like that, I will definitely push you to start finding these things that are interesting to you, like build your interest, make you see why these things are important or necessary. I'll cite an example with my brother. In my house, we are all avid watchers of movies. We watch movies like So when my brother started dating his wife, she didn't like watching movies. But over time, spending time with him, she discovered that it was when they see movies together that he was relating movies to his own experiences, opening up to her, telling her more stuff. She herself got into movies, and now she's the one pushing for Netflix subscription every month. So she has now gotten the idea that this is what this guy likes, this is what he finds interesting. So I believe for me as well, if I find someone like that, I'll make her see reasons why this is important and why she should want to find them important to her as well. But I don't think anyone exists who is not into music, into movies, into books, or news. I don't think
a lot exists.
What else do you find interesting? Like, what gets you going?
Okay. So
at least one.
Okay, so Miss 2 and Miss 2 and Mr. 2 have, and they ask themselves, quite interesting. So I'm going to go to Miss 1. Your turn.
Okay.
Do you want to pick a question and see the question first before you decide whether you would take it or you would give your own question?
Okay. Let's see number 14.
Number 14. Number 14 is coming right up. Okay.
Then again, I just.
So number 14. 5 years from now, you're married, you get back from work on a Friday night. What are your plans with your spouse? You like it or you want to change it?
Yeah, I'll change.
Okay, good.
My question for can I throw it out to the three guys? Okay.
You can only throw it out to one person.
One person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 1, Mr. 1.
Thank you.
My question is like a 1A my question is like a 1A and a 1B. So my 1A is it important that your wife should know how to cook?
Thank you very much.
And my 1B is do you know how to cook? And I don't mean Indo and rice. I mean like the things you like to eat, as in that other people can eat too. So like soups, etc. So the things you want your wife to cook,
like
do you also know how to cook them? So those are my 2 questions.
Can you pound?
Are you burger? If you like burger, if you like afang, can you also cook afang too?
So can you hear me?
Mr. One, I know you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fine.
So before I go further, I'd like to advertise that I make the best afang you've never tasted. I think my afang is tough for novel.
Shoot your shots now. Afang in the building.
No. So I'll probably answer it from B to A. I cook. I love to cook. Every time I have to rent a new spot, in order of preference, it's the kitchen, the bathroom, and then the bedroom. For me, those are the 3 rooms that matter. In a sense, because I love
the other room.
I agree.
Wow.
So
Does my wife need to know? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. To the important question.
My AirPods died. So does my wife need to know how to cook? I know that I sometimes would say, well, I can cook enough for both of us. But then I've been with some ladies who are not comfortable sharing their kitchen, and I'm secure in not. I try my best not to have an opinion about on anything that she has cooked. It will help if she can cook, but growing up, my mother said that no woman is ever going to use food to do shakara for her sons. And it's also a blessing that I'm from Akwa Ibom. So we're properly taught.
Really setting yourself today.
Hello, Mr. Wong. How are you? How are you, Mr. Wong?
I'm fantastic. So we were properly taught. I think it just depends on the woman that I finally settled down with. I also believe in roles. I believe that before getting married, we'd have to sit down to agree on our roles and stuff. And who's making, if we're having children, when we're having children, who's making dinner? Would there be a roster? Because I cook, and sometimes she'll have a very busy day at work. She'll come back. I don't expect her to be on her feet. She should sit down and then tell me what she wants to eat. I could make whatever it is that we have on the roster. It's not. I mean, I see social media and how people are talking about food and how the woman must know how to cook, even though she's not wife material. Well, it's as, I feel like that comment itself is as superficial as men who say, when they say to have, if a woman does not have things that you can hold, then she should not get married. So basically, all our slim sisters should just go and sit down. You see how twisted that
I think it's
comment
scriptural.
is.
So
that's how I feel. It's scriptural, but the to have and to hold is not talking about curves and edges. It's talking about something completely different, about taking ownership of the person that you're with and that person taking ownership of you. So it's a completely different conversation. But to answer your question, I think knowing how to cook is important, so that we can help each other out. And then finally, because I do talk a lot and I'm sorry, finally, I have learned...
That's who you are. That's who you are. Don't be sorry for
I've learned from experience that unlike what the mainstream media wants us to see, food is a love language for a lot of Africans and for a lot of human beings. And there are some times that I will offend her, or that she would probably do. I mean, for me, I'm not a very food is not the way to my heart, but I know that food works for a lot of people. And it's part of the package when you want to pamper the person you're in love with. So I cook. I think it's important that I know how to cook so that I can help her out if she sees cooking as her role. If she doesn't, it's fine. And then we all pray, that in the near future would be affluent and influential enough to employ people who can cook, to help us out, when
it's
you
the one.
Have you really hammered if you don't have a bottle?
That one is okay. It's okay. Take it.
I think I
I've
should
won
change,
because
you should change
I
your
won for
name.
the question.
Pastor One. I think it's Pastor One. Pastor One.
I'm really impressed, and as an Akwa Ibom sister, it's very rare to hear an Akwa Ibom brother speak like this. So I give it to you. You've answered it very well. I'm satisfied.
No comments.
No comments.
I think we can go to Mr. One now. Miss One has had her opportunity. So Mr. One, do you want to pick a question?
Let me try. What does number 14 sound like? What's number 14?
She just chose.
Sorry, no, not 14.
People choosing the same number. Interesting.
I'm sorry. What does number 38 sound like? What's in 38?
38. What do you think of people who achieve great things by deeply compromising their values?
Okay, no, let me switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
Hello?
I'm with you. Go ahead, we can hear you.
So I'll direct this question at, I was going to say Miss 2, but let me direct it at Miss 1. So a lot of times, ladies that I've been in relationships with will go for a fantastic service, and then they'll come back and they'll ask me, oh, what is your 5-year plan? Or what is your 10-year plan? And then they are shocked when I, bring out my phone or bring out a Google Doc and then read it out to them. And then they are always caught off guard when I ask them, so what is yours?
That's being vulnerable.
And so here I am thinking, no, it is. And I'm prepared. You see how that on all my devices, I'm prepared for vulnerability, to the letter. I can send you the PDF document,
I'm not even sure if you're asking a
Excel,
question or you're answering a question now. Which one are you doing?
He just laying the foundation for the question.
So the question, the question is, Miss One, what are your thoughts on women actually having plans, financial plans, career plans, and goals? And basically, what are your thoughts on them having that? And what are your thoughts also on merging plans between spouses?
Should we just say joint accounts?
Joint plans.
But that answer should be like 25 marks, so.
Mr. 3, you need to chill. Okay. So, Mr. 1, first of all, those women that were shocked, they are not the women for you. That's all I have to say. Because I will not be shocked. when you bring out your phone and tell me your plans. I will align with it. I will make sure that we see how our plans flow. You understand? And I'm really, really down for merging plans. We'll be that super couple, build an empire together. Someone said it cannot be like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Why not? We can add all of them in one, So I'm down for it too. Right? Anything you say, I'm down for it. So that's all I have to say.
Including joint account.
Actually, sure. That joint account one.
I think for the joint account question, it's interesting because a lot of people assume that joint account will be the only account that we operate. I don't think so. I feel like a joint account is an account where...
It's not the only account, then it's fine.
Yeah. It can't be the only account. Both parties have to have their savings accounts, their business accounts, and so on and so forth. And then the joint account is an account where we say, every month we are throwing in a 25,000 into that account to take care of the house and stuff. It's not perfect.
Then I have another. Sorry, is a joint account really necessary? I mean, we're just giving the bank more money for bank.
Don't worry. I think
like
you guys can.
Is it really necessary?
Don't worry. You guys can have that conversation after.
I was asking everybody.
I'm just trying to make maximize the time now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to Miss 3.
Okay, I should ask a question, right?
Yes. Do you want to pick or you want to ask? Anyone, it's fine.
I think I'll ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a question I saw trending this week online. Well, it talks about if the person you're about to marry, the lady you're about to marry, earns more than you, like probably 5 times more than you, and she is living in Port Harcourt, and you as the man, and she probably works in an oil company in Port Harcourt, and you work in a bank in Lagos, and you want to get married. What do you think? What would you want? Would you want her to resign and move to where you are because you're going to be the head? Or would you move to where she is? Would you just do a long distance marriage? Yeah. And it's directed to the person, whoever has not spoken.
Mr. 3.
Why? Why?
I'm sure you saw that. I'm sure you saw that question, so you know the details of that question.
So that's Mr. 2, like the social media person. There's no right or wrong answer to it. For me, I would just be objective, like what is best for both of us at the time. Love is not about finances. I like to say that, but finance can improve how you love or how you express your love. But the core of it is not about money. So, because the question is posed in such a way that money is the defining factor. Because she's rich, she works in an oil and gas company, so that's now the bone of contention. So, first of all, there's more to it. Are we compatible? Do we understand each other? Am I in love with this person? And if I can check on those boxes, then it's easy. If I work in a bank, like your question says, I could do a transfer to Port Harcourt, right? Or if she works in another oil and gas company, they have branches in Lagos or in Port Harcourt or wherever I live, so she can transfer. So it's a question that both of us need to sit down and take a decision that is best for both of us at the time, especially if we're about to start a marriage, which for me, I'm not a fan of long distance marriage. I think it's just too much stress on both partners. So we literally have to be in the same place and we'll take that decision together. It's not, I don't know. I just think it's a decision both of us will take together. For me, money is secondary. We have to answer the question, what is best for us at that particular time. If Port Harcourt is best for us at that particular time, then so be it, because you can probe that question further and find that she might be in Port Harcourt and looking for an opportunity to even leave that job to a better job in a location close to you, right? So it's not. I don't. My problem with the question is money is defining the relationship. That's my problem with the question, and I think it will be unfair on both couples to define your relationship from the beginning by money. So that's how I answer the question.
Do any of the other guys have any perspective on this, or anybody at all?
Yeah, I do. I have a perspective.
Okay.
All right. So I think that firstly, the now may not really be as important as the next 3 to 5 to 7, 10 years, because a lot of women have left their jobs to be with their husbands in a new location where it's more difficult for them to get a job, and then they start having children. And 7 years down the line, she's resentful of this man. She looks at him and she says, "You killed my career dream." So I would say that money might not be a defining factor, but her career goals would be. As well as man's career goals. What do you intend to have in your future? If they can both understand the dynamics of the kind of life they want for themselves, then it will be easier for them to make a decision. And on the other hand, if they cannot come to a compromise, the woman might be under the pressure of, oh, but he's asking now and I have to marry him, so I would go ahead and leave my job to be with him. And then they start having financial problems when children come, because whether we like it or not, money is one of the major problems a lot of couples face. You'll start having financial issues, and then the ball just goes south. The whole thing goes south. So it's important that even if she's leaving her job, and if it's possible, make her sign an undertaking that in the future she will not point an accusing finger at you to say, "You made me leave my wonderful career and everything." It's very important to understand her goals for herself, financially and career-wise.
Okay. I'm going to give Mr. 3 the opportunity. I think he's the only one who hasn't asked this question. Are you going to choose? Or are you going to ask your question?
So I have a basic question, and I'm directing it at Ms. 2. And the question is simple: How do you define love?
Love is sharing for me. Love is sharing. So I define it in 2 ways. The sharing in 2 ways. When I am single, love is very selfish. But once I get married, love becomes selfless. Now I say that because when we're single, we have an opportunity to choose, and our options are actually very vast. But the moment I say I do, I have to zero out every other option and forget about me and focus on how to help my partner become the best that he dreams for and the best that God wants him to be. But in both ways, even when I'm being selfish, sharing is very important in that love. I have to understand who you are. I have to understand what your goals are. Sharing comes in when we're married. Sharing is also very important. You have to keep sharing. But the dynamics changes. I'm no longer asking out of my selfish curiosity. I'm now asking because I am selfless and I'm trying to give him all the support he needs to become the man that God intends for him to be.
Okay, awesome. I would like Ms. 3 to answer that question as well, since nobody threw a question at you.
For me, love is selflessness, and if you're able to consider the person first before yourself, I think that's love. Before marriage or after marriage, not that before marriage, the person's views or person's opinions should be persuasive. It should be valued. So it's you actually have to consider if you love that person. I don't totally agree with Ms. 2 that said it's selfish. I believe that you also have to consider and value that person, although you still have to make the final decision for yourself. And after marriage as well, think about somebody else before yourself. So, not that you lose yourself though. You don't lose yourself in loving people. You find yourself there. So, basically, that's it.
Mr. Three, are you?
Yeah, can I just quickly agree with Miss Three?
Okay.
As in, I agree with Miss Three in the sense that people keep saying, being selfless, that's completely sacrificing. I mean, if you love this person, I think it's as you love yourself. So every decision you make on behalf of this person is beneficial to you. So indirectly, you're still being selfish about the love. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Because there's no way you're going to be making a decision that will favor the person that won't favor you. So I feel love is allowing yourself to include and make room for someone else, opening your heart to be able to, take in that person. So you're spreading the love and including the person as well in the way you love yourself. So that's it for me.
Okay. I think Ms. Tu, you want to give some more clarity.
Yes,
okay.
Please. So when I say being selfish during the dating process doesn't mean that you're not considerate towards this person. Being selfish, in my definition, is aligning our goals. If we don't, and our values, there are values I have that are not negotiable. You have to be somebody of integrity. When I find out while I'm dating someone that he has no integrity and is dubious in his businesses, there's no future in that. There's nothing to consider in that. But if I find out that he has struggles building and I can help in that regard, then you can consider that person, say, okay, and then you start throwing in some ways, you could suggest things nicely. But if that person you're suggesting to is not taking the suggestions when you're dating, how is it going to translate into a marriage? Am I going to consider, okay, he's the man, whatever he says, go.
I have a question for you. So if in marriage, he shows, because people change, who they were before the marriage can be somebody different after the marriage. If you see that this person is a man of integrity before the marriage and you can trust him and stuff, what if after the marriage he has no integrity and he has a pattern of that? Are you going to be selfish? You know that your husband probably squanders money, or is probably unfaithful, or probably doesn't make good decisions and stuff like that. Are you going to be selfish? Probably, your husband, you can't trust him with money. Are you going to have a secret account? Are you going to get secret properties? So can you actually compartmentalize love in that, if you understand what I mean? Do you get what I mean?
All right, so you said something very vital. You said there's a pattern to his spending. Yeah. When I'm dating someone and I will not pay attention to the pattern of his expenditures, if I cannot deal with it when I am single, I don't negotiate it. I simply say, whilst this is really nice, for XYZ reason, I can't continue with this relationship as opposed to waiting till we get into the marriage. Now, if we get into the marriage and things that I didn't see prior to the marriage might spring up from time to time, even couples that have been married for a lot of years will say, I can't believe you just did that. I mean, those things happen. At that point, I know that. So it's important for me that I understand the things that are negotiable and not negotiable. If the things, I said my top 3, he's godly, he respects God, he has a personal fellowship with God. Number 2, he's sharing, he shares, he doesn't keep his things to himself, he shares his details. Number 3, my third value was again? I can't even remember what I said. But when I understand the things that are not negotiable for me, and I have gotten those things in that relationship after the marriage, if I see those things, like I said earlier, my selflessness comes after I say I do. It doesn't come before I say I do. I can't be loyal to the point where I lose the things that are valuable to me just because I want to get married. But once I get married, then it's time to, for me, divorce is not an option. It's not.
Your third value was confidence.
And I understand what I am doing. When I get there, we fight it to the end.
Thank you, Miss Two. Thank you, Miss Two. Okay, so you guys have done amazing well. I hope that you guys have learned more about yourself and more about other people. I saw some amazing connections here. In fact, it felt like today was the day of Akwa Ibom connections. I saw Akwa Ibom connections on the call and even on the chats. So it's quite interesting. Thank you guys for being here. If it's among the spectators, if you want to be on Meet the Singles like this, please, there's a link for you to do that, and you can also go to our YouTube channel and check out some of our past editions. And if you're here, you haven't registered, just to get more information about our events and when we are meeting, please let us know. So I thank you guys again for being here. We've run out of time, and let's do this again. We're gonna meeting again on the 4th Saturday of June, and that edition is going to be an open house. It's going to be like some games. We're going to be having questions, and we're going to be having conversations, and it's going to be open to everybody. So I want you guys to be there. It's going to be an amazing time. So
Hey there, thank you for making it to this point of the video. You have watched it. I hope it was good. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And let's get your feedback. Was it real? Was it too ideal? Whatever. We would like to hear from you, and get with your feedback, get your comments. If you haven't filled the link or subscribed to this channel, please do that. When you fill the link, we'll give you information how you can jump on the live show, make your contributions. We want to learn from you. We want to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Keep coming back. We will have some exciting topics for you. Trust me. Have a wonderful time. See you again.